guys, so today's video is another foundation first impressions review demo thingy. I asked you guys over on Facebook on my Sally Joe page what kind of makeup you wanted me to buy, like what specific products to use in reviews, and heaps of you wanted me to try this foundation here, so I went and bought it. I just went to the Revlon counter and I was like, hello, do you have a new foundation called 2-in-1 or something? And the lady was like, yeah, it's here, you can get it. So that's what I got. I didn't even know what I was buying, but this is what it looks like. It's actually got a concealer on the front. I'll open it up so you can see better, but I got the shade 150 Buff. Let me just say, if you're really fair, they're not going to have a colour for you, which sucks. This is the second lightest, and the lightest one was super pink, so I didn't even go near it because it would make me look like a piece of salmon. So I've got a little bit of tan on because I knew that this would be way too dark for me otherwise. Honestly, it might be too dark for me still. Like, I've got one coat of the Australis tan on. They did have like 8 to 10 shades though, so if you are more olivey toned with your skin, a little bit more tanned, you'll be fine. It's just if you're like really fair, they're probably not going to have your shade, so fingers crossed they come out with more colours if it's a popular one. It's supposed to give all day wear, have a flawless finish and be sweat resistant. Apparently it's got a mirror inside. Must be, oh yeah, it does too. And it comes with a sponge, I didn't even realise. Good thing I read the bottom. So there's the packaging up close. It's all plastic, of course. It's nothing super fancy. It's got little holes in the back. Don't ask me why. It's just a click closure. It's not magnet or anything like that, or like a little spring-loaded one. You just click it. Seems quite secure, but only time will tell. And then you've got the layer with the concealer on top. Not a very big concealer, but a little might go a long way. We will see. And then there's the foundation, and then under that we have a mirror and that little cavity there which had the sponge in it, which reminds me of those Beauty Blender blotting sponges, you know, the blotterazzi ones, because it's so thin, like super thin. So I feel like even if you dampened it, it wouldn't really do anything. Maybe this is just for like on the go, you know, like touch-ups. I feel like that's probably more what it's for rather than applying your whole face, but I'll have a quick look on the website just in case you want me to apply your whole face with it. I just looked on the site and it says contains unique applicator and mirror for touch-ups on the go, so I guess it's just for touch-ups. By the way, sorry about my wild hair in this video. I'm doing a hair tutorial later, so there wasn't really any point in doing it for this video. It says it's long wearing, so I'm actually going to not wear primer. My skin hasn't been super dry or super oily lately because I am on skin medication stuff. Hence why I don't want to pick this giant pimple, but it's so ugly. I'm really sorry that you have to look at it, but I'm just gonna leave it because my skin like bleeds a lot because the medication kind of like thins my blood. But anyway, that's a whole nother boring story that you guys don't want to know about. So I'm just taking one of the new Exo Beauty Italian brushes. This is the tapered face brush, brand spanking new, so there's no product on there. I'm just gonna tap it right in. It's almost like I'm just putting a pot concealer all over my face, but to its merit, it's definitely blending out really nicely, and it's not tugging on any of my drier areas, but it's not really full coverage. We'll just see how it goes. I haven't worn makeup in so long, it's been like a week because I got my eyebrows tattooed and you're not meant to wear cosmetics. Probably still not even meant to wear cosmetics really, but it's my job, so YOLO. It's been like a week, so I'm pretty sure they're fine now. They've faded so much. We went for like kind of a lighter colour because she wasn't sure if they would fade and she didn't want them to be like super dark. But that's okay, in my touch-up session we'll just do some more darker strokes, but I love them. If you want to know more about it, I did put heaps of info about it on my Instagram, so I'll link that down below. But I'm so happy with them. Even you guys were saying, like not in a mean way, but I would get comments like, oh, you look so pretty without makeup. All you need to do is fill in your eyebrows and then you'd be like ready to leave the house and stuff. So I totally like agreed that my eyebrows were half eyebrows. I overplucked them when I was like 14. Like I shaved the ends off and stuff and they just like never grew back the same. And even using like Revitabrow and that kind of stuff, my eyebrow hairs grow like curly on the ends. So it's just like, this is not happening for me. And then it kind of became the trend, I feel like, for YouTubers to get their eyebrows tattooed. Like Brittany and Danny got them done, and then like Shani and Shan and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, this could be the answer to all my prayers. So I found a really good lady in New Zealand who does them. Her name's Hayley. This isn't sponsored or anything, by the way. I paid for them myself. But yeah, I'll link her page down below if you want to go like check her out because she did such a good job. And do let me know if you want me to do like a whole video about them and how like the pain was and all that kind of stuff, because I didn't really think about it, that it's like actually a tattoo on your face. I was just like, yay, I'm going in to get pretty eyebrows. And then she started and I was like, holy crap, this is so sore. But then she put on numbing gel, so it wasn't like bad all the way. But yeah, this is meant to be about foundation, but I just thought I'd throw that in about my eyebrows. And that way I didn't cut out any of the foundation application. So there you go, it's all done. That was one layer. Actually turned out to be the perfect shade, which was good. And the lovely lady who did serve me at the counter did say that it does look a little bit darker in the pan, so it was probably going to be fine for me, and she was right. In terms of undertones, it's quite neutral, but it definitely leans a little bit yellow instead of like olive or pink. But it doesn't bother me because when I wear tan, my skin definitely leans a little bit yellow, so it's good. Love the colour. I thought it might be dry, especially since it's in like a pan, but so far so good. It just blended out really well. You could see it was super easy. I didn't have to use a beauty blender with water to like kind of get it to work into my skin. So now I guess the true test is going to be if the concealer is any good. So here goes. I guess I'll use it on my blemishes because it's like the exact same colour as the foundation. It's actually a little bit lighter than the foundation, so it just like highlights the pimple. Can you see that on camera? Hopefully. Yeah, it might just go on a little bit lighter and dry the same colour, because that's often the case. So let's just see how it goes. I'm just going to pat it over anywhere where there's a little bit of redness still peeking through. And I suppose for the sake of the video I should use it under my eyes too. It's coming off very natural when I apply it with a brush. Or maybe it's just because it's the same colour as the foundation. I honestly cannot tell. I don't have a whole lot of darkness under my eyes, so it looks good to me. But in actual fact, it could be crap. So, such a good review. Yeah, it definitely looks dry. I'm just going to try and use my finger on its side. There we go, that looks better. Okay, so this does not look good applied with a brush, the concealer, it's just too dry. So yeah, once the concealer has dried, it pretty much exactly matches the foundation. So in my opinion, great for a spot concealer. Not that great for under eyes unless you don't really care about having a little bit of brightness. Alright, well that's actually quite cool. I do like the fact that now I can just put my powder on and everything is done on my base, like under eyes, blemishes, it's all in this product. The powder, I'm just going to put on a little bit of this Milani powder because that's what is on my desk right now and I'm lazy. And I'm using the powder brush from Exo Beauty. It's been my favourite at the moment for powder because it's so big and so fluffy. Really reminds me of the Real Techniques powder brush. Feels pretty much the exact same, but I like how it's more circular and not kind of oval shaped. Just makes it a little bit bouncier, I feel. So I'm not setting this intensely, I'm putting like the tiniest bit on my brush. I'm just patting it over. Just gonna set my eyes with the same powder because it's not like I used a lighter concealer or anything. So meh. Who cares if it's all the same colour. Just zooming you in a bit more so hopefully you can see how great that finishes. Now I'm just going to put on some mascara and a lip colour and a little bit of like bronzer. That's all the makeup I'm going to do for the day because I'm just doing a hair tutorial. So I'll go and do that. It will probably take me a couple of hours. It looked a bit darker in the pot. I just feel like it might oxidize. So that's really what I'm going to look out for. And of course it rubbing off in any areas because I will be like wetting my hair and stuff. So it'll be a really good test to see if it like stays around my hairline. I think that's everything I needed to say. So I'll see you guys again at like 1 o'clock. Hey guys, I'm back. So I've done my hair tutorial. If you could not tell, it's on like mega volume, like how to get intense volume in your hair and effortless waves and all that kind of stuff. So that should be up on like Wednesday or sometime in the near future. Just did simple makeup, added a little bit of bronzer, this Maybelline lip colour, which they randomly sent me the other day. I've never been sent anything from Maybelline. And like all the other bloggers get it, so I was so stoked. I was like, oh my gosh, they sent me something. It's the Colour Blur by Lip Studio Cream Matte Pencil and Smudger. It's one of those ones, it's like based on Korean makeup and you're meant to smudge it, but I was like, my lips are too small for that shit. I don't have beautiful pouty Korean lips. So I just used the like colour all over my lips. It's really pretty. It's now 1:38 PM and it's holding up really well considering I just went and like washed my hair in the basin pretty much with a shower head. It actually stayed on my forehead so well, like it's worn off a little bit around my baby hairs because it got wet, but honestly I thought it would be worse than this. It looks so good like on my cheek area, Smile lines sunken in a little bit. What can you expect with a full coverage foundation? Happens to me like pretty much every time. But the coverage hasn't gone patchy. I've been touching my face, I've been spraying all this shit all over my hair, got my hair wet, and it looks so good still. So I'm actually really impressed. Maybe this will even be better than the original Revlon Colorstay, because when I bought it I was just like, oh, 2-in-1 foundation. Didn't realise it was in the Colorstay line. But I feel like every Kiwi girl had Revlon Colorstay when she was in high school. I know I did. I do have to say though, the concealer doesn't look like it's holding up quite so well. All the spots on my forehead are peeking through. This is peeking through. Under my eyes it still looks alright, but I don't really have anything to cover under my eyes. Not to be like, oh, I've got such great eyes, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't really have a whole lot of dark circles. Got a lot of blemishes though, and it didn't really cover those. So that's my thoughts so far. I'll check back in at like 4 o'clock or something, which will probably be when I'm taking my makeup off, because we're either going to go out tonight or stay in, and either way I want to take this makeup off and do a fresh one or just leave it, so you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'll check in with you then, but so far so good besides the concealer drama. Hey guys, I'm back. It is now 4:20, so a couple more hours on. I thought I'd check back in before I take it off for the night. I feel like it might have oxidized a tiny bit, which is a shame. Focusing on the positives, the coverage is still patch free, still really nice full coverage for the foundation anyway. Considering it's been on for 6 or 7 hours, it's actually had really good shine control. Like, my nose is a bit dewy. That's where I usually get like oil on my nose. It's kind of dewy, but it looks nice. It's almost like I've got a highlight on my nose or something. It doesn't look like oily. On my T-zone, it's barely sitting in my pores. You can see them, of course, because I'm not like a perfect Barbie or something, but they're not like intense. Some foundations really like suck into them. Smile lines are there. What can you do? It's not like super bad. It's pretty much perfect, but I would fault it on the fact that it has oxidized slightly and gone slightly more warm, and also it did sink into smile lines. But overall, really good foundation. However, I have to say the concealer is a letdown, because wherever I've put it, it's just completely worn off. It's almost like it's eaten like through the foundation as well. It's also creased under my eyes, which barely ever happens to me, and on my eyelid also it has creased. So just not a good concealer. To be honest, I was kind of expecting that. I just have never found a 2-in-1 foundation and concealer where the concealer is actually good. It's just come off all those like little patches. And this one here too, which is pretty good considering I've been like sweating whilst I was filming my hair tutorial. That is something I did notice. It did claim to be sweat proof, and I have to agree with that, because I had like little beads of sweat on my chin and on my upper lip. Let's just like look past the fact that it's disgusting. And I just kind of dabbed them, and it didn't move the coverage of the foundation. Overall, I would recommend it. If a friend was like, oh, do you think it's any good? Should I get it? I would say, yeah, it's alright, you know, it's pretty good. I just feel like you do waste a little bit of your money, because this concealer, for me anyway, it's useless. It didn't really do a whole lot. And this is about $45. I can't remember exactly. I think it was like $45.99. Here, just as a reference to New Zealanders, I think like L'Oreal Lumi and stuff are about $36. So for a drugstore foundation, it is on the pricier side, like $45. And then you don't really get to use the concealer because it's kind of crappy. It's good that it has a mirror and a little sponge, I guess. That actually reminds me, how about I try to use the sponge for a touch-up and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I do not like that. Maybe if you didn't powder your face, it would be fine, but it's totally like broken up. Do you know what I mean? Like when a foundation looks dry on your skin, it's almost like little scales. That's what it's gone like. Even though that foundation on my forehead was quite like dewy again, it didn't really layer on it well, so I don't know about it for touch-ups. Doesn't really layer that well. I'll definitely wear it again because like I've bought it now, and the actual compact itself is nice as long as you just like touch it up with powder throughout the day and use a different concealer. It's totally fine, but yeah, it's not my favorite, so I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. It's nothing incredible, but it's not awful. So here's my overview of this foundation. It was super requested to try out. I hope it did help those of you out who want to pick it up. Again, I'm not trying to discourage anyone from buying it because it's not like bad. If you love Revlon and you love Revlon Colorstay, then I'd still give it a go. I just didn't like the concealer a whole lot. I don't know if they could give you a sample because it's like in a pan. They might be able to, or they could maybe try it on you or something. So don't take my word as gospel. As with any product, it might work for you or it might not, but for me, I was just like, eh, kind of average. As always, let me know down below what products you want me to buy for review so you guys can kind of get an idea of how they perform on someone else before you fork out your own money. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye! Where was our first date?
Macca's?
No! Don't say that. That's not even true. I remember it. Our first proper date anyway.
Where was it?
Over.
I got no
Don't
idea.
remind me. It was at Pukekohe Park. Like the bowl.
When did we go there?
I don't actually remember who we went